of fact. Um, you have to be very careful who you listen to. Because one of the major things that they teach people when filling out this application, do not put your social on it, because that makes you a U.S. citizen. I'm here to tell you that is not true. And if you don't put your social on it, you can end up being charged with putting false information on a government document. And I know people right now that are on probation for 2 years for that and had to go to jail for 10 days for doing that process. So, using the social on the passport application is very important because if you're trying to change the presumption that you're a U.S. citizen, they need it so that they can correct. You see? All right. One of the things I wanted to talk about for people, a lot of people should know should know what I teach. Except for the one brother knew. I wanted to point out if y'all could see this application, it says how to submit this form. It says complete and submit this application in person to a designated accepting agent. Now, the very first people they mention is this: a clerk of a federal or state court of record, or a judge or a clerk of probate court accepting application. That's the very first one. Then it says a designated municipal or county official, then a designated postal employee at an authorized post office, an agent at a passport agency by appointment only, or a U.S. consular official at a U.S. embassy or consulate if abroad. Find your nearest acceptance facility, visit travelstate.gov, or contact the National Passport Information Center at 1-877-487-2778. Now, the reason why I mention it, because I'm going to highlight this right here. This part right here is very important to look at. Right here. Because for all of us that has been assumed to be U.S. citizens born under the 14th Amendment, this is important. Because if you look at your birth certificate, it says the state you was born in. So that means that you never was a U.S. citizen. How do I prove it? We're going to go back to this application, but hang on, I got to bring up another window. We're going to look at the GPO style manual. Anybody familiar with this manual? This is a government, as you can see, it's the government website. Um, and on page 95 of this document is an official guide to the form and style of federal government publishing. Right? This is the 2016. I think they got a 2018 one out there somewhere. But I just clicked on the first one. Now, the actual manual is page 95, but for the sake of how they got it on the web, you type in 109 and it'll take you straight to the page I want to talk about. This page right here. Can y'all see that? Anybody? Let me know if you can see it. Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Who that? Do I know you? Your voice sound familiar.
I've met you.
This who?
I met you. I met you in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. No problem. All right. It says nationalities, comma, etc. Right? So this says the table on demonyms in chapter 17, useful table, shows forms to be used for nouns and adjectives denoting nationality. All right. So they're saying this section right here denotes your real nationality. So in section 5.23, in designating the natives of the states, the following forms will be used. So they're saying in their system, they're supposed to use these particular forms to denote your nationality. This is a question out there. How many people, when they looked at a government form, saw these designations? Anybody can answer that.
Nobody.
Right. Because when you look at their form, remember it said up here, etc. You see the etc. These forms. Observe the following form, section 5.2. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at any form, only these designations are on there. So they're automatically, psychologically programming you to pick these titles. Why is that? Because every one of these titles is not really a true nationality. They are quasi corporate titles by the United States that they use to identify their employees or their U.S. citizen. So when you check off any one of these, you are telling them that you are quasi U.S. citizen. Because if you go to your birth certificate, if you're born in South Carolina, they recognize that as a South Carolinian. Or if you're born in Kentucky, they recognize that as a Kentuckian, a Louisianian, a Mainer, a Marylander, Massachusetts, Michiganian, Minnesotanian. I'm saying that wrong. Minnesotan. Do y'all realize if you look up these names and how they got it, a lot of these names are actual tribal names of indigenous people. If you go back and study these names. So, with that being said, let's go back to the first. I need to put this one right here. Hang on, let me pull this up. As you can see, I got a lot of bookmarks. And I add probably 5 or 6 bookmarks a day. All right. This all has to do with the passport. The reason why I showed you this section, because, when I was telling people, most of us go to the passport place to, like a post office, do our passport. But this started off saying go to a federal or state court of record. Why is that important? On certificates of non-citizen nationality, I'm not going to read all of this. I will put the link to this in the chat so you can go and study this on your own later. Here's the link, because that's a long read. Somebody asked me to mute people. All right, that's that one. That's that link. I will do that. Okay, because let me go ahead and mute out. All right, got it. All right, and let me put the government manual in there for you. All right, and I'll put the DS-11 manual in there for you. All right, y'all can go to all of those documents and y'all can see that Akeem didn't make this up, trying to fool you. All right, here we go. This is the certificates of non-citizen nationality, the one that the coveted, the elusive, with that what people want to show that they're not a citizen of the United States. But you need to read this. I go in depth on this particular information in my seminars and break down the trickery in this. But I want to go to this today for the sake of this session. Right here. This is a public law. Everyone needs to read this. Section 302 of Public Law 95-4-241. Read it entirely. Of course, it's going to make you think it's talking about people in Northern Mariana Islands, but I'm going to point out something real quick to show you that it applies to you as well. Any person who becomes a citizen of the United States solely by virtue of the provisions in Section 301, then you see you got these brackets here, applying to those born in or residing in the Northern Mariana Islands. If you know anything about the Four Corner Rule, when they do that, that means that's not on the page. So let's read it again. Any person who becomes a citizen of the United States solely by virtue of provisions in Section 301 may, within 6 months after the effective date of that section or within 6 months after reaching the age of 18 years, whichever date is later, become a national but not a citizen of the United States by making a declaration under oath before any court established by the Constitution or laws of the United States or any other court of record in the Commonwealth in the form as follows. I, whatever your name is, for the sake of this conversation, I, Akeem L, being duly sworn, hereby declare my intentions to be a national but not a citizen of the United States. There it is, right? Now, what was important was this. Making this declaration under oath in any court of record. Right there. Doesn't that look familiar? It's right here. A clerk of a federal or state court of record. Right there. Why is that first? It's first because this is where you have to go to formally tell them that you're not a U.S. citizen, but you are a national. All right. Now, there's some other words you added before that, and I teach those in detail in my seminars. Now, let's go down to the part that most people screw up on. All right, let's read this part here. This part here. It says, now, I declare under penalty of perjury all of the following. I am a citizen or a non-citizen national of the United States. Basically, they're telling you you are a citizen of the United States and have not, since acquiring U.S. citizenship or, give me something popped up on my screen. Hang on. U.S. citizenship or nationality, perform any of the acts listed under acts or conditions on page 4 of the instructions of this application, unless explanatory statements is attached. So what this is saying is, if you don't have explanatory statements, letting them know that you're a national but not a citizen of the United States, and you have not done what it says under the acts and conditions, or if you've done anything under there, you need to follow those rules, and you just send this application exactly like it is, you will be telling them that you're a U.S. citizen. So in here, they give you your out on how to do it. Now, other people have taught you or have taught that to let them know you're a national, you just line this part out. Wrong. That's altering the oath. So if you do that, you will they will tell you to redo the application. I know this because I did it, and that's what happened to me. All right. Now, let's go to the acts and conditions. Here's the acts and conditions, what most people don't read. All right. It says here, if any of the below mentioned acts or conditions have been performed by or applied to the applicant, the portion which applies should be lined out. You hear that? You need to line out what applies to you. And a supplementary explanatory statement under oath of affirmation by the applicant should be attached and made a part of this application. That's the rules. So, what does it say? I have not, since acquiring United States citizenship, nationality, been naturalized as a citizen of a foreign state, taken an oath or made an affirmation or other formal declaration of allegiance to a foreign state, entered or served in the armed forces of a foreign state, accepted or performed the duties of any office, post, or employment under the government of a foreign state or political subdivision thereof. Made a formal renunciation of nationality either in the United States or before a diplomatic consular office of the United States in a foreign state, or been convicted by a court or a court martial of competent jurisdiction of committing any act of treason against or attempting by force to overthrow or bearing arms against the United States or conspiring to put down or to destroy by force the government of the United States. So it's saying you got to line out. They do it in reverse psychology here. Line out what applies to you. So what are you doing? You're trying to let them know that you're not a citizen of the United States, but you're a national. So you got to find out what in here applies to you and line it out. Now, let's go back to what I started with. If you put an explanatory statement, like I just read on this certificate of nationality, doing your declaration of being a national but not a citizen of the United States, you put an explanatory statement with your application along these lines, get it notarized, then take your passport application down to a court of record and submit it. You have just given them that official repudiation or renunciation of U.S. citizenship right there in the court of record. Because that's who is going to give you the oath when you sign it. A clerk of the court, like it says on page 1. Now, before I keep going, anybody got a question? I'll unmute. Hold on. All right, let me unmute. Anybody got a question before I keep moving? No? No question?
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. So is your thinking with this the nationalization process in the court is combining the passport process with the petition? Is that
Yes.
the line you're thinking on?
My line,
Okay.
get your passport nationality corrected first, then go to the court to correct the birth certificate.
With the certified copy of the application?
Yes, because you're going to order
Gotcha.
a certified copy showing that you officially went in and told them that you're a national but not a citizen of the United States.
And you will use that the
That's
GPO page also as
evidence.
evidence?
Yes, you need evidence.
Gotcha.
Let me understand. Your main evidence is the birth certificate showing that you was born in whatever state you was born in.
Right.
They got y'all under the delusion that because you got a birth certificate from your state that makes you a U.S. citizen. No, it don't. What makes you the U.S. citizen is when they applied for that social, they checked off you as a U.S. citizen. What makes you a U.S. citizen when they fill out the birth certificate, they designate you as Black African American. So you got to go correct that presumption and let them know I'm not Black African American. I'm not white. I'm not all of these titles that you're using to enslave us. You see, you got to get those presumptions corrected. Anybody else?
Yes, I have a question, Akeem.
Yes.
If if you've already had a passport, can you use the same process to correct it?
Yes, you can. I had a passport before I corrected mine. So you're going to have to give that one back and do a new contract. You're going to have to do a new DS-11.
Okay. Yes. All right. Thank you.
Yes, you're going to have to give it back. Because you remember, you filled it out the other way. And like I mentioned, if you did it according to what that oath says, you just set yourself up as a U.S. citizen. Right?
Wow.
Yes. If you do it, but listen, the application tells you what to do. It says, well, if you're not one of these, basically with all of this legal jargon they're saying right here, they're saying it in so many words. Unless you have these explanatory statements attached, you got to let us know who you are. But they know people are psychologically blind, and they're just going to just sign off on this and keep it moving. Most people don't even read this little oath down here. This is an actual oath. That's an actual oath you're taking. So you're taking an oath to saying that you are a U.S. citizen, basically.
Right.
You got to.
I think that
Go
the
ahead.
perception was if you fill out the application and you follow it according to what some other people are instructing, and you don't check off U.S. citizen and you put the other verbiage there, that oath actually says non-U.S., a national, whatever. But the perception is that, okay, I'm good. So actually, the driver is to do the action,
Yes.
follow the acts and conditions.
That's what they, just like I say, acts and conditions. Your act is
Right.
an explanatory statement, and the conditions is setting off in that acts and conditions who you are.
Right.
Right here,
Very
you
clear
gotta
now.
line out. And it's very they read this is all in reverse, so you gotta think backwards. Your answer is in there, right? You
Yes.
just gotta line out what pertains to you. Now, I'll give you one answer off the muscle right here. This right here. A lot of us don't have this problem, but no one ever does this. Right here, it says, furthermore, I have not been convicted of a federal or state drug offense or convicted of a sex tourism crime statute, and I am not the subject of an outstanding federal, state, or local warrant of arrest or a felony. A criminal court order forbidding my departure from the United States, a subpoena received from the United States in a matter involving federal prosecution for or grand jury investigation of a felony. Up here it says you should line out what applies. So if you've never been convicted of any of these, even if you are doing it as a U.S. citizen, you need to be lining this out.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
But nobody ever flips this over. This is how come they treat us like enemies of the state. Because when you don't line this out, you basically saying you have all of these issues.
Correct. Wow. Well, thank you for that. I'll let somebody else jump in with a question. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. So we got to pay.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
quick question. So I've got an old passport that's expired, and kind of the same situation. Who do you turn that old one into? Does it matter?
You turn it in because even if it's expired, they want the old one back. They want that one back. Now,
Okay.
the expired one, they probably won't send that back to you. But if it's like a current one, they may. I'm talking. My son's was expired. I can't remember if they sent his back or not. But yeah, if you because they're gonna ask you on the application. I'll show you. Let me show you better than talk about it. Because on the application itself, it's gonna ask you, have you ever had a passport before? Right here. Have you ever applied for or been issued a U.S. passport book or passport card? Then it asks you, you say yes or no. Then you write down the passport book, the number, and the most recent one that you had and you dated. And then it says submitting it with an application, and then it asks you, was it stolen, lost, or in my possession? Expired. You can actually keep the old one if it's expired. You don't have to turn that one in. But me, I turn it in because I give him back that one so I can get another one. Now notice also on this application where it says, please do not write below this line for issuing office only. You notice that it says NAT./citizen certification. So that's separate. National, the nationality, or if you're a citizen. Why didn't they put it all together if it was the same? You see? So they know when I got my certified copy, they make little notations on it. You know, they know to deal with this. And of course, your parents, you're gonna put down no. They don't ask you, are you a U.S. citizen? You're gonna have to say no for your parents. But there's very specific ways you need to fill out the application as well, which I do that only in private. But keep in mind, you can do this yourself if you just read the rules. And you can get this on your own. But I do help people.
I do have.
Oh, go ahead.
My only question is, okay, I heard everything y'all said. So basically, when you redo that application, you can put something like a affidavit of truth saying you're a national, and just mark on the application that you're a national, and that's it.
You're close, but here's the thing. When I deal with these people, I call it what they want it to be. I call it explanatory statement. So whatever you do, make sure you label it explanatory statement.
Okay, I got you now. I got you. And you still have to put the social on there too, even for your national name.
I don't. You got to put the social on the application because you remember this is an oath, and you're saying that everything on here is true and correct. So if you put zeros on there and they actually issued a social in that amicus name, they're gonna try to treat you like. So you need to put the. Trust me. We put the social on it. My son's student loans got wiped out automatically after he did it.
Okay, so just put it.
Other people the same
Okay.
results. So the social doesn't make you a U.S. citizen. It's really how you're using it that makes you a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
How are they going to correct your status if they don't have the social? You understand?
True. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You need to find out, okay, this is the record we need to correct. And if you even go, there's a site called Copper Steel Moonshine something. He even now, before he would tell you not to put the social, whoever runs that site is now telling people to put the social. And so many people have done that process and ended up federal agents come knocking on their door.
Yeah, that's actually what I've been reading for the past couple of years. Is that right there? What you just mentioned? Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know people personally. Two of them, I helped them out of the situation where they didn't get in trouble. One didn't know me, but he actually ended up getting in trouble doing that process. So you got to be careful. And anybody who's on who has done it and they got a pending application out there, and you've done it, they want to talk to you, all you got to do is say, you didn't understand the application like it said, that's a different entity for me. I never was issued a social. I never signed a contract to get a social. Why? Because you was a baby when they issued that. So I misunderstand the application. That's all you pretty much need to say. And you'll get out of it like that. But what they do is they'll hand you another piece of paper certifying that you wasn't issued a social, and that's the paper that you use. So just be careful.
Akeem.
Yeah, what's up?
Akeem, what actually goes on that explanatory statement?
Oh, that's the proprietary information.
Huh.
Now, if you want that, my particular affidavit, I do charge a fee for that. Go to my website and click the consultation tab and you'll see. But I'm just showing you can create your own explanatory statements off your studies. I gave you what to study. I gave you this. I gave you this. Right there. So you can go create your own affidavit just off that information right there alone.
Yo, Akeem, can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I got a question, man. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. So let's say you get the certificate of non-citizen national status, and you get it in your in Lega's name, right? But you declare that you're a Moor Aboriginal. Now the Moors carry, those titles of nobility, El Bey, Day Ali, so on, right? So would you recommend, if once you receive it, in order to be in line with, your Moorish declaration or your Moorish lineage, to then do a court order name change to your El or Bay name, and then get an updated passport to reflect the El or Bay? What are your thoughts?
You do it the El or Bay name change before or after. It's easier if
Now, see, I got a situation where somebody did it and they hadn't did it. I did it the way you suggested, but I had somebody that did it successfully in Legal's name. They received the certificate of non-citizen national status.
So
But now they want the LMA on there.
they received their passport as a national, but then they want the L. How did they get the L and Bay on?
Well, they don't have it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
This is somebody who helped me do this.
They're only going to issue a passport based off what the record says. So if you don't have an order with your name changed, they're not going to put that on the passport.
I mean, right? I follow you. What I'm saying is, now that they've got it, would it make sense to now do the court or the name change?
Yes.
To show that, right?
Got to, because
then once you
legally.
Okay. Now,
so
once they do the name change, then they would just update the do a name change form for the passport.
I think the rule is they will issue a new passport with the new name on it within 60 to 90 days of them changing their names. They just got to prove it got changed, and then they'll reissue the passport with the new name on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Makes sense.
Back and change it, but now you said some things that I have to address. Now that you brought them up, because you opened up a kind of can of worms.
My bad, dog. My bad.
Let me mute that mouths because there's too much noise. Hold on. All right. The brother was talking about certificate of non-citizen nationality. Right here. That's what it says. That is a tricky statement. And here's why. I'm going to try to skim through this because I got a consultation at 11, but here it is. The Department of State occasionally receives requests for a certificates of non-citizen national status pursuant to Section 341B of the Immigration Nationality Act, INA 8 U.S.C. 1452B. As the title of the certificate indicates, only a person who is a non-citizen, U.S. national, i.e. U.S. national, but not a U.S. citizen, may apply for such certificate. They're playing with words here, but let me keep reading. As defined by the INA, all U.S. citizens are U.S. nationals, but only a relatively small number of persons acquire U.S. nationality without becoming a U.S. citizen. Section 101A.21 of the INA defines the term national as being a person owing permanent allegiance to a state. Section 101A.22 of the INA provides that the term national of the United States includes all U.S. citizens. So if you're saying you're a national of the United States, you're a U.S. citizen, as well as persons who, though not citizens of the United States, owe permanent allegiance to the United States, non-citizen nationals. So what they just said that a non-citizen national is a U.S. citizen. Now let me keep going. I have to keep going to break this down because that can of worms has been open and I have to help you see what you're really trying to get. Section 308, INA confers U.S. nationality but not U.S. citizenship on persons born in an outlying possession of the United States or born of a parent or parents who are non-citizen nationals who meet certain physical presence or residence requirements. The term outlying possessions of the United States is defined in Section 101A.29 of the INA as American Samoa or Swains Island. No other statutes define any other territories or any other states as outlying possessions. In addition, Section 308 of the INA, Section 302 of Public Law 95-241 provides for certain inhabitants of the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands who became United States citizens by virtue of Article 3 of the Covenant to opt for non-citizen national status. There it is again. We already said that established non-citizen national basically is a U.S. citizen. As the department has received few requests, there is no justification for creation of a non-citizen national certificate. Designing a separate document that includes anti-fraud mechanisms was seen as an inefficient expenditure of resources. Therefore, the department determined that those who would be eligible to apply for such a certificate may instead apply for a United States passport that would delineate and certify their status as a national but not a citizen of the United States. Did you see the difference there? Let me open up the mic. Let me open up. Hold on. Did you notice that trickery? Did you notice it? Did anybody catch the trickery? Y'all didn't notice it?
Switched up with it says national.
It went
Basically saying
national.
national.
Then they went to delineate to certify their status as a national, but not a citizen of the United States. So what I'm trying to tell you is this is what you want right here.
Right.
Because why? It's very specific. It's saying you're a national, but you're not a citizen of the United States. And up in the top paragraph up here, it told you that the national is someone who owes permanent allegiance to the United States.
So we really shouldn't be referring to it as a certificate of non-citizen national status. Man.
Here you go. You do it. You gotta look at it in reverse. When you give them the explanatory statement, you have converted your passport from being a U.S. citizen passport to being a national, but not a citizen of the United States passport.
Got it. I got it.
Now, if anybody got a passport, look at it. Do you realize the United States is nowhere on that passport? It says United States of America. And when it designates where you're from, it says what state.
Based on the way you're reading that, I guess that particular email that you got.
Whoa. Keep that person out. Oh, I'm trying not to so that you can hear. Oh, could chime in as I go along. Now, I showed y'all that section. It says, if a person believes he or she is eligible under the law as a non-citizen national of the United States and the person complies with the provisions of Section 341B of the INA, 8 U.S.C. 1452B, she may apply for passport at any passport agency in the United States. When applying, applicants must execute a Form DS-11 and show documentary proof of their non-citizen national status as well as their identity. Basically, they're telling you, show your identity as a U.S. citizen, and we're going to give you this thing just like you want it. Really, the certificate you're talking about is the actual application. It's not the passport. It's how you fill out the passport what determines who you're going to be. All right? Because it just told you up here that the passport is going to be the same as anybody else's. You see? All right? Yeah. Section 341 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, B. A person who claims to be a national, see how they're using it again? A national, but not a citizen of the United States, may apply to the Secretary of State for a certificate of non-citizen national status. See how they're playing with it again? They just told you that was a U.S. citizen. So what they're really saying here, they're telling you, oh, apply for a passport and we're going to convert you to a U.S. citizen. They're really telling you that you are a national. Right out the gate. You're not a U.S. citizen. But when you apply the way they got the application set up and you don't do it correctly, you're going to be looked at as a U.S. citizen. You see? Now let me keep going. Upon one, proof to the satisfaction of the Secretary of State, national but not a citizen of the United States, and in the case of a non-citizen national born outside the United States or its outlying possessions, taking and subscribing before an immigration officer within the United States or its outlying possessions to the oath of allegiance required of an applicant for naturalization. Section 101A21 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, the term national means a person owing permanent allegiance to a state. Right? Section 101A29 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, the term outlying possessions of the United States means American Samoa and Swains Island. The term state includes, now did you notice? Right here it says a national means a person owing permanent allegiance to a state. Right there. Did you notice how state is lowercase? Now you go here, it says the term state includes the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, Guam, and Virgin Islands of the United States. They're trying to trick you. Did you notice that state is uppercase S? It's showing you that this state does not mean the same thing. right? So I always do this. I always do this right here. Yeah, go ahead. Hello, somebody says.
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
State definition. It's not pulling up my regular state. All right, here. See, it says the second meaning, the first meaning of state is what? A particular condition that someone or something is in a specific time, condition, shape, situation. So this applies to you also. You got to let them know what your status is, what your condition is, what your situation. But the second meaning of state is a nation or territory considered as an organized political community under one government. Synonyms: country, nation, land, kingdom, empire, republic, confederation, federation, body politic, commonwealth, power, world power, superpower, polity, domain, territory. So really the synonym is country, nation, or any of these other names. Empire. So the state you were born in is your country. Is your status. All right? So let's go back to this. So, unless otherwise provided in Section 301 of this title, the following should be nationals but not citizens of the United States. 1. A person born in outlying possession of the United States on or after the date of formal acquisition of such possession. A person born outside the United States and is outlying possessions of parents both of whom are nationals but not citizens of the United States, have had a residence in the United States or one of his outlying possessions prior to the birth of such person. 3. A person of unknown parentage, found in the outlying possession of the United States while under the age of 5 years until shown prior to attaining the age of 21 years not to have been born in such outlying possessions, and a person born outside the United States in his outlying possessions of parents whom is an alien. This is the key right here. So if you were born in, let's say, New York, you were born outside of the United States, and your parents were alien to the United States. They just didn't know it. And the other national but not citizen of the United States prior to the birth of such person was physically present in the United States or its outlying possessions for a period or periods totaling not less than 7 years in any continuous period of 10 years, during which the national parent was not outside the United States or its outlying possessions for a continuous period of more than 1 year, and at least 5 years of which were attaining the age of 14 years. The provisional of Section 301G applied to national parents under paragraph the same manner as it applies to the citizen parent under that section. I read this to you earlier. So really, what you're trying to do is claim your status of being a national but not a citizen of the United States. Law is very specific. You got to make it clear that you are whenever you want a more aboriginal, national but not a citizen of the United States. Some people, American national, more American national but not a citizen of the United States. Even if you have some tribal affiliation, you know that you have some indigenous blood or people connected, and you know those tribal names. You can say whatever that tribal name is right in front of this, national but not a citizen of the United States. But do not break this up when you do your statement. This is very important. All right? Got it? Any questions? No? Boy, y'all good class. Y'all got it on the first try. Shoot, it took me a couple of bumps on the head to get mine right. Nobody? Oh, I got y'all muted. I'm sorry. My bad. All right, let me unmute. No, y'all ain't muted. All right. Well, if that's it, we'll be the class for the day. Good turn. Right about 24. But anybody got any questions before I roll?
No questions, bro, but dope class, man. Again, I appreciate it, man.
All right,
Appreciate you studying and sharing it with us, man. Dope.
all right.
I got one
Definitely.
for you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, go ahead. What's your question, bro?
I think you already said it. Just going over it. So I think the young lady said it earlier, but I already have a passport, so just do the same application. Just go and do it over.
Yeah, you got
That one.
to return it in. Follow the rules on explanatory statement. Find out what applies to you. Do your explanatory statement. And when you sign that application, sign it last name, comma, first name, middle. I will tell you that, and put all rights reserves or without prejudice on there. Sign it. It's very
Okay.
all right.
Gotcha.
Okay. I got a question.
Fill
First,
out
I
the
want to thank you for
application,
helping me.
lowercase, everything lowercase, and when you come to your address, in care of, with the address, and put zeros.
King,
What's up, bro?
thank you, sir. I got mine in the mail.
Who is this? What's
Yep.
up? I can't. Who is it?
Jedediah. Jedediah.
Oh, what's up, brother? You got it. Oh man, I love to hear that.
Got it. Yeah. No problem. Went straight through. Everything went fine. Explanatory statement stated enough, and it's done, man. It's the next move now.
I got to give you the next phase. On to the next
Yes,
phase.
sir.
Because listen,
Okay.
people, y'all have to get rid of the presumptions. If you have a driver's license, just like you want to explain story statements with the passport, you need to do it with that driver's license. You need to
All
do
right.
it. Go correct the SS5. Just change the explanatory statements to say explanatory statements for the driver's license. For the SS5, explanatory statements for the SS5. I do.
Okay. Can I ask you a question, brother?
Go ahead.
Have you known anyone to have any visitations from any agencies after when it was done this way?
Nah, the only thing I've gotten from people that's done it this way, within a week, 2 weeks, they looked at their student loans and it was zeroed out.
Okay.
I just got one of the person that happened to me. Now, this is what I'm noticing. If you have any open bankruptcy cases out there and you're doing this process, it may not do the student loans because I have someone who's dealing with that. Her and her husband did it around the same time. He went and checked his student and zeroed out. Hers is not, but she has an open bankruptcy, so her estate is open. Her estate is wide open. So
okay, so she has an open bankruptcy and not a closed bankruptcy. Let's say we had a closed bankruptcy
right now,
then we should be fine.
Got none of that.
Okay.
My students, but they checked his stuff. She said yes. His said all zeros. I was like, that's about 5 confirmed that I know that his loans went away after this. The way I teach it. Now, when you do your own explanatory statements and stuff like that, I can't say you'll get the same results. But even with my process, not everybody's student loans went away. But I'm noticing they got certain little situations going on. The main thing I've noticed are in bankruptcy. That's the main thing that I do. Hey, I will have the recording of this. I'm gonna have a Dropbox recording. Put up later.
Okay.
So what?
Okay.
Well, no, I sent it out like I sent the invitation out, a link to it so y'all can look at it. All right.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right, y'all.
Hakeem, one last question, man. What's the longest you've seen it take with the expedited service? I did mine's on the 13th, and I still haven't got anything yet.
Okay. 13th. They usually have it back by now and expedited. Did you get any updates by email?
I've been checking the email, no updates, no anything. I had my trustee do hers the following day on the 14th. She got everything back. She got the
Okay. Now, usually, brother,
passport.
when that happens, there's some pushback for some reason.
Some pushback. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you got any outstanding child support or something like that, or
Nope.
certified
Everything clear.
taxes or something, any
Nope.
tax issues,
Everything clear. No tax dues, no child support, no anything. No nothing. I might have to get with you in the private and
call
see
them
what
and
you need
ask them.
to.
Call them up.
Okay. I did see that it says in process and it's got a passport and a location number. But like I said, I haven't received
So they
anything.
got it. They just said it's in processing. Call them. They can tell you what's going on with it when you call them.
Okay, I'll do that today. Then I'll just give them a call.
Call them.
Brother Akeem, did you ever determine what those 3 stars indicate on the card,
That's
the
random.
wallet?
That's random. Here's why.
Okay.
I know
Okay.
there's a family of 4. The mother, father, daughter, son. Daughter's around 5 or 6. The son's around 1 or 2. The whole family got
Okay.
3 stars and the daughter got 4. We
Okay.
all did it exactly the same way. So it's more or less a random pull of those cards that they do. So
I think it's deep how they set it up that way.
I got a 5-star. I know people who did it exactly the same way. They got long criminal histories and they got a 5-star. So, and I know people with no criminal histories, no problems, and they got a 5-star. So it's no rhyme or reason there. So when they all did it exactly the way I taught it. These are not people that did their own affidavit. These are people that I guided through, just like I work with you to do the same thing. So, yeah.
Do I need to set up a consult with you to move to the next step now?
No, I'm gonna send you what you need to do. I just told you what to do. Take your affidavit, adjust it, and go and correct the SS5 form. But you do need to know how to fill it out correctly. So
I mean to get the documentation from the State Department for your request.
And look for getting a certified copy application. They got all the information there.
Okay.
I'm a bookmark it and send it out. They show you where to mail it in and get it back. You can do an apostille or a certified. Certified is $50, $8 for the apostille.
Okay, there's no particular statement you need to give them, just whatever is on the website.
No, they tell you what to say. They tell you because you got to send a copy of your ID with it. They tell you right there on the website what to say. All right.
Okay. Okay.
I'm behind on my consultation, but thanks for tuning in. I'll see y'all in about 2 weeks. All right.
Thank you.
Peace. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, you're welcome.